The end of an era is arriving upon us, and this might be a good thing or a sad thing for many of you, but you just gotta look at it with strong arms open and say, you know what, now it's time for the next Legend of Zelda game. But for finally completing these saga of Legend of Zelda games, completing the story, which is awesome. All starting off with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, an arguably amazing game with a lot of lore and dialogue that goes into what is now known as Breath of the Wild. That story, you really wanted to know what connected a bit of this. Now I know, this game isn't canon, which honestly, I didn't quite know until a couple days ago that this wasn't canon. Now I did know that they go back in time, but I still felt like it was canon. Anyways, for me, that explained a lot of the story going into Breath of the Wild. But then when we got Breath of the Wild, that story was amazing, explaining a lot of things. Hyrule was struck by a big battle 100 years ago and led to a whole bunch of bad stuff going wrong. It was your job to go and save the day. Now, of course, just like any Legend of Zelda game, you really felt like the true spirit of the hero. Moving on to Tears of the Kingdom, there definitely was a lot of missed things like what happened between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and now Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is coming in. This is going to be canon 100%, so you will be able to fully track that story. Now, we all know, if you played Tears of the Kingdom, you know what happens at the end of the game, or more at the start of the game. You'll know that they lost the Battle of the Imprisoning War, and all of this bad stuff starts to happen. So, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment really goes into that. You're going to lose. So be prepared to lose the battle, because it's not a separate timeline like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but more of the same timeline, so it explains everything on what happened. I always wanted to know what the Imprisoning War and everything associated with that works, so there we go. Now we got the Imprisoning War, now we got the explanation on what's happening. But diving straight into the gameplay itself, I think the gameplay definitely is something really, really amazing. There is tons of different levels, there's tons of different powers, and the amount of content in this game is surprisingly really big. Now, of course, there's not going to be the same amount of content as a game like Dynasty Warriors or something like this, but now if you're jumping into Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, you're seeing that jump from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom. What happened between that imprisoning war, because Zelda uses Secret Stone to go back in time. Now, may you say that this isn't exactly between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, more so couple years, couple decades ahead. Well, then I guess that makes sense. But for me, I feel like it fits inside that gap between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Now, the characters, the selection is pretty much standardized from what you got in Tears of the Kingdom, but one character, which is more so the construct Link, he really plays a lot like you would play Link in, let's just say, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It really is Link, so I guess they wanted to find a perfect way to put Link inside of the game, but without having Link inside the game, because since it's canon, Link being there wouldn't make sense because he wasn't there inside the Imprisoning War. So now you got a Construct Link, which is pretty much Construct Link because he plays the same. You got your sword, you got your spin attack, you got all of those different things, which honestly, it works really good for what it does. It works amazing. The combo moves that you get to use with characters is honestly really cool. So if you were like using Minoru, you use Minoru, you can use Raru, whatever, you do a combo attack and it's really, really awesome. There's a bunch of different characters that will do combo attacks. Like if you have a Korok, and then you can use the Construct Link, you can do a big sort of combo attack, which is going to be really, really great. There's a lot of things in the story beats that you might not make sense. Hey, why in the world are all the champions fighting each other? This is one thing that will tend to occur. So, you know, I don't want to spoil too much on that, but hey, be ready for that because it is a very, very interesting sort of gameplay. Now, there's one thing that I really want to mention. Some certain levels. Now, the levels aren't all hack and slash sort of levels. Some levels you actually will be able to get up and fly either a construct plane, or you'll be able to do a bunch of different things like either in the sky or in the depths or just flying the construct plane. You have to shoot things kind of like, I don't know, if you're playing Skylanders or something. Remember how you were able to shoot things in like supercharger sort of mode? Overall, it's a weird reference, but I think it really acts a lot like that, and I think it's really cool how this is something that actually happens. Now, in terms of is it worth it? For me personally, if you're into either Dynasty Warriors or Hyrule Warriors, this game is probably right for you. It gives you a lot of those same things, but mixes more of the Legend of Zelda concept into it. And if you're into the lore, well then that is also a very great idea to be picking up this game. The lore in this game is extensive. Like, it really has at least 2 hours of gameplay that you can just watch a full-on movie. Like, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity had a massive, massive story. Like 2 hours. You could sit there and look at every single one for like 2 hours, which was honestly amazing. So just maybe that's something that you could pick it up. Or if you're really a fan of the whole timeline in between Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Hyrule Warriors, everything that was set there, this would give you the complete saga of The Legend of Zelda, which honestly is amazing and is something that I've wanted for a long time. The gameplay is good, it really feels fresh, and at 60 FPS, you're going to be feeling no frame drops, because one of the big complaints of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was the frame drops. If you remember playing that game, it was a little bit rough because sometimes you would just get a random frame drop that you would go down to 2 frames per second, or then you would go back up to 30 and then go back down to like 18 and whatever it is. You just felt it. It was an inconsistent frame rate, but now this is fixed. There is 60 FPS, which is beautiful for a game like this. It really is buttery smooth. Co-op, however, goes down to 30 FPS, which is fine because you can play with your friends and co-op multiplayer. And honestly, that right there is really amazing because, you know, you can just have a great time with seamless FPS, which honestly is something really good. You will be able to put this game in 4K. You will be able to put those games in all the resolutions that the Nintendo Switch gives you, which honestly is cool as well because, hey, who doesn't want to fully utilize their 4K TV, their OLED 4K TV, whatever it is, it's going to work perfectly fine. So there you go. You got all of those things to look out for. However, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment definitely is a great game in my opinion. I think that it definitely is worth it, especially if you're into the Legend of Zelda lore or you're into the Hyrule Warriors gameplay, because those are probably the 2 main reasons to pick that up. One reason that you wouldn't want to pick it up is because you didn't care about the lore in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. You skipped all the cutscenes. You just couldn't handle it. You wanted to just get into the gameplay. Well, then the gameplay is not the same. You aren't going to be able to free roam, but there is some segments in the game that you will be able to free roam. It works just like a Hyrule Warriors game. You will unlock different sections to the map, so can't free roam. You have to do the missions that is appointed to you. Then the map unlocks. You get different things, different weapons that you can upgrade will make them stronger, and you can use the construct things. So if you wanted to fuse like a fan and a water sprinkler, that you can do. And also there is certain abilities that you will be able to use, like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. You had the magnesis, you had the bombs, you had a whole bunch of things. Well, you will be able to get that. There is different elements, which is also really cool. So if there's a fire enemy, you put a sprinkler on them, which will make them like weaker, so then you can attack them with your sword or whatever it is. You can use for air enemies, if you wanted to, you could use fire, or you can use a sprinkler as well. A lot of these different things will make for a perfect thing, because it's really up to you if you want to use a fan to blow all the enemies into some sort of tornado, keep them in there, and then do a big hack and slash blow, which honestly is really cool. And a couple weeks ago, I made a video on, is this game right for you? And I would say the answer to that, yes, I think it might be right for you if, again, you're into either Hyrule Warriors or you're into the story of The Legend of Zelda, which overall is all very exciting, and I can't wait to see what you think about Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This game definitely is really cool, and I think that, you know, it's great. It's a great story. It's a great wrap up to the whole Legend of Zelda timeline, the whole Legend of Zelda sequence of events, which honestly, it's just great. The Legend of Zelda really delivered in its part on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. And, you know, if you're still rocking a Nintendo Switch 1, sadly, you won't be able to play this game. It's Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, which is a little bit sad, but I see why they did that, because the frame rate problems that this game had on that system. So anyways, what do you think about Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? Do you think that it is a great game, or do you think it's not so great game? It's a little bit of a bummer game. Anyways, let me know in the comment section down below. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers. That really means the world to me, and we are so close to 2,100 subscribers. So consider hit that subscribe button and join the channel for a bunch of different things. So anyways, thanks a lot. This channel focuses on pretty much everything Nintendo, which is really cool. The Legend of Zelda, Kirby, Pokemon, Mario, whatever it is really, really awesome. And hey, if you come from Pokemon videos, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching that video. It got to over 20,000 views, which is a crazy number for me. So anyways, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And yesterday we did a poll, which the poll, it ended up pretty interesting, I will say so myself. Okay, so what is your favorite thing about the Nintendo Switch 2? Now coming in 4th place, we got mouse control / new way to play. Only 5% of you think that that is the best thing about the Nintendo Switch 2. Now coming in at number 3rd, we got baloney. 16% of you think that it's baloney. Anyways, you know, baloney is great as well. Coming in at 2nd place, we got 4K / 120 Hz / HDR, which 25% of you think that that is the best thing about the Switch 2. And of course, coming in at number 1, we got Game / Switch 2 Edition. 54% of you think that that is the best thing about the Switch 2. So overall, what do you think about all of this? Do you think that this is correct or bad? And thank you so much for being part of the poll. I hope that you have a fantastic time. See you in the next one.